Good day everyone, my name is Farhan Yahya Salim.
I am Marinda Ramos.
I am Irene J. Bayani, and this is
Fatima Sarbian.
Gaferty. Joshua Gonzalez.
Hello guys, I'm Gian.
I'm Rizig Andrego and Satul.
City Isotoro.
Good morning ma'am, good morning mates. I would like to present our topic today is my topic, police defiance. Police defiance includes all activities inconsistent with the norms, value, or ethics. Slippery slope is a part of corruption continuum wherein a honest police turns bad. Means guys, this honest police turns bad. Ito na yung pinag-aralan natin dati, yung malfeasance. Malfeasance is yung may intention kang mariin ang ginawa mo or duty mo, responsibility mo as a public servant or a public official's employees. Okay guys? Public official. Basahin natin. Due to repeated accepting pre-meal, prepare, and similar insignificant act of indiscretion which leads to serious misbehavior and finally corruption. Ito na yung guys sinasabi namin, yung malfeasance. Like for example, like you are conducting police checkpoint or COMELEC checkpoint that you are checking their license, their violations, their ORCR, original receipt, like ganon guys. Then may mga tao talaga na bumibigay sila ng pera para hindi sila mahuli or matiketan. Yun po yung malfeasance. Dito na po i-start ang honest police turns to bad. May mga tao kasi, may mga pulis kasi, di nila lang pinapakita sa mga media or di nila pinapamuka sa media na ginagawa or di nila ginagawa ang mga malfeasance or di nila pinapakita sa mga tao na tumatanggap din sila ng meals, tumatanggap din sila ng pera, gifts, ganon sa mga tao, sa mga nahuhuli nila or sa mga natitiketan nila. Like for example, natiketan kita, binigyan mo ako ng pera. Yun po yung sinasabi dito. Next one is type of police defiance. Dito guys, yung type ng police defiance, halos lahat malfeasance. Kasi intention ng mga tao ang gumawa ng di kakabuti sa public as a public servants, like ganun. Parang ganun. First one is police corruption, police gratuity ba to? Correct me if I'm wrong. Then police perjury, police brutality, police profanity, sex on duty or duty related, sleep on duty, drinking and abusing drug on or off duty. The last one is misuse or confidential information. Ang police corruption guys is abusing power for personal gain. Like for example, inaabuso mo ang isang tao or isang empleyado or isang normal na tao, ginagawa mo or ginagawa mo yung ranggo mo para matakot sila or makuha yung takot nila, yung loob nila para sa kagustuhan mo, yung personal gain mo guys. Like for example, may hihingiin ka sa kanila tapos di nila ibibigay. Tapos sabihin mo, pulis to, dapat ibigay mo to, ganito, ganyan. You know that? Like, parang gano'n. Dapat papakuan natin yung rin. Dapat may augmented tayo sa utak. Dapat ano bang augmented na yan? Hey, basta next one is police gratuity or gratuity. Oh, gratuity ata, gratuity. Correct me if I'm wrong, ma'am. Accepting favor or gifts. Ito na yung sinasabi ko sa inyo, guys. Yung maghihingi or kukunin nyo yung gift na binibigay sa inyo yung ng tao na hinuhuli nyo. Like, for example, me, I'm conducting like what I said earlier. Like sabi ko, I'm conducting police checkpoint or COMELEC checkpoint that hinuli ko yung mga violation nila. Then they are giving some gift or binibigyan nila ako ng tip para di sila huliin. That we call accepting favors or gift. Yan yung police gratuity. The next one, the third one is police perjury. Ito na yung lying under oath. Dapat alam natin din to, guys. Yung lying under oath, dapat alam natin kasi graduate tayo or nakakapasa tayo ng PRC, dapat nag-oath taking tayo. Then before tayo maging public officials and employees, magpa-public servant tayo sa mga public servant. Basta yun, magkukan tayo sa mga public safety para alam nila yung ganito, ganyan, para maagapan din yung mga criminality dito sa bansa natin. Dapat di tayo mag-underline sa oath natin. Syempre, nag-oath, I, Salim Farhan, ganito, I do my best for you. Yes, parang ganon. Nang mag-oath ka para ano ba to? Para protektahan ang iyong country. Parang pakanya na lang sa utak nyo. The next one is police profanity. Profanity. Using inappropriate language. Like you are using your any language. Like alam mo naman di siya nakakaintindi ng Maranao, di nun siya nakakaintindi ng Maguindanao, di nun siya nakakaintindi ng Yakan. But you are actually using that para makuan siya, like mahilo siya, like ganun. Wag mo naman gamitan ng ganun. Yun yung sinasabi na police profanity. Ginagawa mo yung professional mo sa isang language na ginagamit mo para sa tao na hindi niya naman alam kung ano yung sinasabi mo. Like misunderstanding na kayo na may magkakagulo na naman dyan sa inyong dalawa. Then next one, yung ika-anim po ay sleep on duty. Sleeping while supposed to be working. Ito na yung dapat din natin gawin while we are on duty. While we are basta nasa duty tayo, guys. Dapat din natin to gagawin kasi alam natin sa sarili natin while we are on duty or yes, guys, on duty tayo, dapat alam natin di tayo matutulog kasi may binabantayan tayo, may responsibilidad tayo. We have our own responsibilidad, like ganon. May kanya-kanya tayong responsibilidad or binibigay sa duties natin. Kaya nga tayo nagjo-duty kasi may responsibilidad tayo para protektahan kung saan tayo nag-duty. Yun, guys. Then yung ikawalo, guys, drinking or drugs. Ito yung sinasabi ko kanina, yung drinking and abusing drugs on or off duty. On or off duty. Naka-on duty ka or naka-off duty ka. Basta drinking or drugs, substance abuse on or off duty. Yung maka-substance ka ng abuse, like pang-aabuso, guys, sa tao or sa paligid mo, on duty ka man or hindi, that's a police defiance. Type of police defiance. The last type of police defiance, guys, is misuse of confidential information. Misuse of confidential information. Ito na yung tinutukoy niya, guys, unauthorized use of disclosure of sensitive information. Dito di natin dapat hindi pwede gamitin, ipang sara or ipang stop or ipang disclose sa sensitive information ng isang tao or isang public people, like ganun guys. Then the next page is police defiance. May tatlong siya guys dito. May tatlong category siya. 1997, 1980, and 1961. Ang police defiance, police corruption. Ito na yung si Goldstein, si Landman or Lundman, Macmullan. Si Goldstein guys, 1997. Then si Lundman naman is 1980. And si Macmullan is Macmullan is 1961. Then, dito guys, kay Goldstein, 1997, misuse of authority for personal gain. Ito na yung paggamit niya. Misuse na gani. Ano ba to? Paano ko ipaliwanag to sa Tagalog? Misuse of authority for personal gain. Yun lang po. Alam niya naman po yun sa personal yun. Alam niya naman po. Di ko ma-explain kasi I'm sick. Yes. Sana maintindihan niyo. Sorry. Then second one is Landman or Lundman, 1980. Violation of conduct norms that are rarely enforced. Okay guys. Ang rarely enforced guys, ito na yung example niya, yung undermining justice. Like ganun. Undermining justice. Then doon kay Goldstein guys is eroding public trust. Then dito naman kay Macmullan, 1961, accepting money or benefits to do something contrary to duty. Ito yung sinasabi, like for example, may bribery, may extortion, may embezzlement, or favoritism. Dito na nakakon sa definition ng tatlo na to guys. Ito yung example niya sa police corruption, sa police defiance. Then, ang consequences guys is eroding public trust, undermining justice. The third one is compromising safety. Yun lang po guys. Hopefully sana may natutunan kayo sa akin. My topic is police defiance. Thank you.
Again po, ang police defiance is a part of yung mga nagalabag po ng norms or yung mga nagalabag po ng ethical standards sa community. So, here we are, 8 types of police corruption. It is corruption of, first, corruption of authority. Ang corruption of authority po, ito yung mga, ito po yung mga officers na nagalabag ng batas, which is, under sa corruption of authority is yung tolerable corruption and includes receiving free meals, which is yung mga pulis po na nag-tolerate ng mga gawain ng mga isang tao. At ito naman po sa mga includes receiving free meals, ito po yung mga pulis na tumatanggap po ng mga bigay ng isang tao kahit sa illegal na doing. So, kickballs. Sa kickballs naman po, ito po yung mga allowing motorists to enter kahit labag po. Within exchange of money or something like free meal. And dito naman po sa opportunist theft, it is stealing money from arrested person. So parang tinitake advantage yung opportunity na pwede sila makakuha ng kahit anong bagay sa isang arrested na person. And next po is, and isa rin, wait lang po. And isa na din po yung doon yung mga properties. Like bahay, mga ganyan. I know sa mga crime scene, like mga bagay-bagay na mahalaga. Let's say, mga importance, like phone, ilagay na natin ganun mga phone. Pwede nilang kunin na hindi nakikita ng iba. And next is, protection of illegal activities. So, ito na po yung mga illegal activities na pinapayagan nilang na makapasok. Or, let's say po na sa drugs, ganun, or sa mga, ano po ba, mga ibang illegal activities po na pwede nilang pagkakitaan. And, sa ano po, dito naman po sa types of Russian police officers, meron po ang dalawa. It is yung grass eaters and meat eaters. Yung grass eaters po, it is includes na kung saan yung mga minors lamang po yung ginagawa, and sa meat eaters naman po is major. Kaya nga po, grass, it means to say parang maliit lang naman. Compare sa meat is kumbaga major na talaga, malaking bagay. Sa minors naman po, dito nakalagay na like sa mga motorista po, pinapanadaan nila ganyan, pagkakilala or exchange of free meals or mga something money, ganyan, parang pang tip. Yung po mga minors na pwede nilang gawin. Dito naman po, dito sa meat naman po is meat eaters. Ito na yung mga major, malaki, mga like drugs, mga ganun po, or marijuana, mga something ganun. Mga malaking bagay, mga big catch po, kumbaga. And, yun na lamang po. And that's it. Yan po yung mga types ng police corruption. Nilagalabag sa ethical standards or sa police ethics po. Thank you.
Police gratuity. Any type of gift or tip given to police officer, for example, cash or services, discount, foods, and free food are all common form of police gratuity. Matching, when there is an implied favor, maihahalin tulad natin na pumayag siya sa isang bagay na pagbibigay ng isang tip or gift na hindi binabayaran. Chiseling, when the officer is quiet, blatant, obvious, demanding free services. Pag ang isang officer ay nagpapahiwatig na bigyan siya o humihingi ng libreng serbisyo. Shopping, theft on items from stores while on patrol. Police perjury, leaving out certain pertinent pieces of information in order to fix a criminal prosecution. Ito ay ang pagdadagdag ng maling impormasyon, pagsisinungaling at hindi pagsasabi ng totoo sa mga pulis. Dropsy evidence, officer testimony untruthfully in court that he or she saw the offender drop some narcotics in contraband. This type of testimony is given when an arrest has been made without probable cause, as when illegal substances have been found through an improper search. Police brutality, use excessive force, name call, sarcasm, ridicule, and disrespect to people. Ito ay madalas natin makikita sa movie na pag ayaw magsalita ng isang suspect ay ginagamitan ng dahas. Ngunit, hindi lang pala sa dahas pwede kasuhan ang isang officer ng pulis. Brutality kundi pati sa pagtawag sa'yo, di angkop na pangalan, pagpapahiya sa'yo at kawalang respeto. Kanya and Maki, excessive violence to an extreme degree which does not support legitimate police function. Paggamit ng sobrang karahasan na hindi na nakapaloob sa batas ng police. Screen test, police jargon for sudden application of brakes on a police vehicle so that the handcuffed criminal at the back seat will be thrown against the metal protective screen. When the citizen charge a police brutality, they may be referring to a number of things. Profane or abusive language. Profane means walang paggalang o respeto. commands to move or go home, pinapaalis ka or pinapauwi ng walang dahilan. Field stop and searches. Biglang pagpapahinto sa'yo ng walang dahilan at paghalughog sa iyong sasakyan o compartment ng walang search. Threats of in-flight violence. Pagbabanta sa'yo ng karahasan o sasaktan ka. Prodding with stick or approaching with pistol, pagkikipag-usap sa'yo ng isang pulis na may nakatutok sa iyong baril. Use of physical force. Ginagamitan ka ng pwersa para sabihin o aminin ang isang bagay.
Police defiance. Number 1 is police profanity. Police officers sometimes use abusive or offensive language during their duties. This profanity can include words with religious meaning such as hell or goddamn. It also related to bodily functions like shit or piss, or even sexual words like F-U-C-K. Can totally say it, but that's it. This language is considered as unprofessional and can reflect a form of defiance when used inappropriately. Number 1 example is during a routine traffic stop, an officer loudly exclaims, "What the hell are you doing speeding?" Like that. He uses the word hell, which is inappropriately. Number 2 is sexual defiance or on duty or related to duty. Certain inappropriate sexual behaviors have been observed among police officers, often linked to misconduct or abuse of authority. Like, number 1 is traffic stops for sexual purposes. Officers may stop women under the guise of routine checks but with the ulterior motive of getting a closer look or seeking sexual favors. Example, an officer pulls over a woman and under the pretense of checking her documents, makes suggestive remarks or requests sexual favors in exchange for not issuing a ticket. Para hindi sila issue ng ticket is gumagawa sila ng ibang favors like makipag-sexual interact, ganyan, para hindi sila matikatan. Number 2 is fox hunting. This term refers to police stopping college-age women to see if they will offer sexual favors. Like, I'll anything routine. Like, I'll do whatever you want. It is essentially targeting young women for sexual exploration. Number 1 example is an officer stopped college student on campus and asked them for personal questions, hoping they will offer sexual favors, making like, "I could help you out if you're interested." May kapalit. Tutulungan ka niya, pero may kapalit. Like, okay, gagawin ko to, pero dapat gawin mo din to sa akin. Number 3 is voyeurism. This involves officers engaging in secretive behaviors like peeping through windows or interrupting couples during intimate moments or lovers' lane. Number 1 example is an officer is caught peeping through a window into a couple's bedroom late at night or secretly watching people in a lovers' lane area. Like, nagma-make love yung dalawang mag-asawa, tapos sumilip yung police officers. Number 4 is victim recontacts. Sometimes officers may conflate their duty to assist victims with inappropriate behaviors such as offering unnecessary psychological comfort that crosses professional boundaries. Like, for example, after assisting a victim of assault, an officer visits them again under the guise of offering support but ends up making inappropriate advances or comments. Like, natulungan ka niya, tapos gagamitin niya yun sa'yo kasi may natulong siya sa'yo, that's why in favor of that gagawin niya yun. Number 5 is opposite strip searches. This refers to officer engaging in sexual acts with intimates which is severe violations of conduct standards. Example, an officer inappropriately touches or engaged in sexual activity with a female inmate during a search, crossing professional boundaries. Like, may inmate na babae, tapos may intimate love sila, ganon. Yun yung example ng opposite strip searches. Lastly, is sexual shakedowns. Corrupt officers may threaten or coerce prostitutes into performing sexual acts in exchange for leniency or ignoring illegal activities. Like for an example, an officer threatens prostitutes or some involved in illegal sex work with arrest unless they perform a sexual act in exchange for leniency or avoiding charges. Example, may prostitute na huli. In exchange para walang charges sa kanila is magma-make love sila.
Number 1. Sleeping on Travel B. This phrase refers to a police car during a night shift. It suggests that officers are sleeping on or resting inside the vehicle, often in this kind area, while on duty. For example, a police officer sitting inside the patrol vehicle during a night shift, falling asleep while on duty. Number 2. Hall cough. This term describes the specific area where police officers sleep on take rest during their shift. It's essentially a resting spot or makeshift sleeping quarter within the police station or assigned location. For example, a small room in the police station where officers rest or sleep during their shift. Number 3. Gold breaking. This term means avoiding work or performing only the minimal amount of effort necessary to satisfy superior. It's involved laziness or shirking responsibilities while on duty. For example, an officer sitting the desk pretending to be busy while not actually working on any task. Number 4. Drinking and abuse drug on duty. These highlights are serious and misconduct on police officers engaging in alcohol consumption or drug use while they are supposed to be working. It is considered a grave violation of conduct and professionalism. For example, an officer drinking alcohol inside the police station while still on duty. Number 5. Misuse of confidential information. This involves leaking sensitive or ongoing sensitive details to unauthorized persons such as friends, relatives, the public, media, or even suspects themselves. Such action jeopardize investigation and compromise security. For example, an officer sharing sensitive information about an ongoing investigation with friends or relatives who are not authorized to know. This is the important term, nonfeasance, neglected of duty. Failing to perform the required act of duty without a valid reason. It is neglected full omission that can hinder police function. For example, an officer witness a crime but failing the report or take action. Number 7. Malfeasance or misconduct. Committing an act that one is explicitly prohibited from doing and involve actively doing something illegal or improper. For example, an officer is stealing money from a person they are supposed to protect. Number 8. Misfeasance, irregulative in the performance of duty. Incorrect or improper execution of law act. For example, an officer arresting someone but failing to follow proper procedure or doing something improperly during the process. Incompetency, lack of necessary skills, ability, or fitness to perform police duties effectively. This may be due to physical limitation, intellectual shortcoming, or insufficient training. For example, a new hire officer who cannot properly properly investigate or make arrests due to lack or training or skills. Number 10, disloyalty to the government. Abandoning loyalty to the Filipino government, including actions such as advocacy for the overthrow of current administrator of betraying the government trust. For example, an officer collaborating with criminal or providing information to them in exchange for money. Number 11, police discretion. The authority given to police officer to decide how to handle situation based on principle to justice, fairness, and proper judgment. It allows officer to make decision tailored to circumstances. For example, an officer choosing to give a warning instead of failing change based on their judgment of the situation. Number 12, moonlighting. Engaging in other profession or business outside of official police duties. This could include other job, calling, or profession that police officer undertake beside their primary role. For example, an officer working on second job as a security guard at night while still on duty during the day.
Magre-report ako tungkol sa dishonesty. Dishonesty, concealment or distortion of the truth in a matter of relevance of one's or connected with the performance of his duty. Sa dishonest, yung example doon ay isang pulis ay nagsisinungaling ulat sa upang protektahan ang kanyang kasama niyang gumagamit ng labis na dahas sa pag-isang pag-aaresto. Ito ay pagtatago ng katotohanan na may kaugnay sa kanyang tungkulin. And number 2, violation of law. Forfeiture of conviction in the court, any offense penalized under revised penal code, any special ordinance. Example dun din ay halimbawa ay isang opisyal ng gobyerno ang nahatulan sa korte dahil sa paglusay ng pondo ng bayan. Ito ay isang paglabag sa ilalim ng revised penal code. And number 3 is oppression. Oppression, an act or cruelty, severity, unlawful execution, domination, or excessive of use of authority. Example doon sa operation is isang alkade nang gumagamit ng kanyang kapangyarihan upang pailisin niya ang mga mahirap sa residente nang walang tamang legal na proseso para magpatayo ng hotel, ganyan, or resort. Ito ay labag sa batas ng paggamit ng kapangyarihan at pag-aagaw sa pag-aari-arian. And the number 4, media and mass media. The channels throughout which information on disseminated to the public may be the form of television, movies, radio, or newspaper, and like example of mass media. A television news channel reports of a large protest informing the public about the reason of scale of the dissemination. This is a dissemination of information. Kumbaga, binabahagi nila or pinapaalam nila sa mga TV para alam din yung mga tao na ganyan may news, kumbaga para alam nila, alert sila kung ano nangyari sa atin kapaligiran. At yung number 5 is propaganda. The propaganda, planned use of mass communication of public purpose. It is an influence action throughout information which is has a value or relevance to need to motivate target audience. Example dun ay celebrity endorsement. Paggamit ng isang sikat na artista sa ads ng isang produkto o kandidato upang mahikayat at masa ng suportahan ito kahit walang tunay na connection sa artista sa produkto o kandidato. Gagamitin lang nila yon para umakyat yung mga produkto para maging sikat, kasi alam nila artista ang gumagamit. So yung mga audience din, bibili din nila yung mga produkto na kasi alam nila artista yung gumagamit din, kaya hindi naman. And number 6, police public image refers to how the people in the community perceive of regard the police. Kumbaga, example dun ay sa isang barangay naggawa ng mga pulis sa libreng medical na mission, example feeding program at seminar tungkol sa mga droga. At dahil dito ay maraming residente natuwa at nagsimulang magtiwala muli sa mga kapulisan natin. Tumaas ang kanilang mga respeto sa mga pulis. Hindi lang at saka maging example din sa kanila na hindi lahat na pulis na masama. May pulis din na busilak ang puso at humanda tumulong sa ating kababayan. Yun lang.
Public official. Ito ay isang official na public official. Sila ang individual na may posisyon sa pamahalaan o institusyong pampubliko, tulad ng mga alkalde, gobernador, kongresista at iba pang mga opisyal na naglilingkod sa publiko. Ito ay halimbawa ng pagsusuhol o pagbibigay ng pera sa isang law enforcement. Katulad na lang kapag nagko-conduct ng checkpoint operation, yung individual na nahuli ay nagbibigay sila ng pera para hindi na matikitan. Conflict of interest. Ito ay tumutukoy sa sitwasyon kung saan ang personal na interest o relasyon ng isang tao ay maaaring maka-impluensya sa kanyang mga desisyon o aksyon sa kanyang trabaho o posisyon na maaaring magdulot ng hindi patas o hindi makatarungan na resulta. Divestment. Ito ay tumutukoy sa proseso ng pag-aalis o pagbebenta ng mga ari-arian, puhunan o interes sa isang kumpanya o proyekto o industriya, kadalasan dahil sa mga dahilan tulad ng ekonomikong pagkalugi, ethical o moral na mga issue. Community policing. Ito ang mga strategy ng mga kapulisan para maiwasan ang mga krimen and para maprotektahan ang community.
So, the question is, what is community? Community comes from the Latin word communitas. Tatis means fellowship and communis means common. So, moving on, community is a group of people who have something in common with each other that links them and distinguishes them from others who are not part of the community. In my own perspective, it is a group or more people that share same experiences or challenges that links them or having something in common. An example of this is like religious community, people who worship, sports community, business community, and even LGBTQ community, and etc. Those are the examples of community. So there are 4 theoretical perspectives on community. Number 1 is structural perspective. Number 2, social psychological perspective. Number 3, human ecological perspective. And lastly, number 4, social systems perspective. So we will be discussing first structural perspective. So what is structural perspective? So what is structural perspective? Example, in a work, knowing and understanding the chain of command, roles and responsibility you must obey. Number 2, social psychological perspective. It studies topic like attitude, how to persuade, group dynamics, etc. It's beneficial because it develops strategies to improve interpersonal relationships and group dynamics. Number 3, human ecological perspective. Protecting the environment and preserving natural resources. Example, here in Zamboanga, we are protecting them and maintaining its cleanliness because it is beneficial for us Zamboangueños. The human ecological perspective emphasizes the importance of considering the interconnectedness of human environment and well-being. And lastly, number 4, social systems perspective. It examines how social policies, institutions, and environments impact individuals and society as a whole, aiming to ensure that they are beneficial to all. So lastly, I will be discussing 3 dimensions of communities. Number 1, communities are political entities which are organized as a province, a city, a township, etc. Local government exerts control over their citizens. State or provincial government over local and national, all of these units. Second, dimensional related to the political power. The structural perspective focuses on larger unit, exerts power over smaller unit or subsystem, and it implies uneven distribution of influence, economic resources, status, or decision-making. And lastly, the third dimension. It involves the geographical organization of communities. It is the populated more concentrated in some areas or more evenly distributed. Where are the business and residential areas located? How are the streets and highways plotted? What are the boundaries that distinguishes one community from the other? That is all from my discussion. Thank you.
My topic is all about socio-psychological perspective and human ecology perspective. The socio-psychological perspective emphasizes how individuals perceive themselves within their community and how they interact with others. This perspective is crucial for understanding feelings of belonging, isolation, and the impact of discrimination. Here the example of socio-psychological perspective. Social influence. Dressing formally, you adapt your clothing choices to suit professional norms. Next is human ecology perspective. A human ecology perspective focus on the relationship of population to their environment, especially to special organization that is how people to serve and distribute. Human ecology perspective. The perspective emphasizes the interconnectedness of human activities, social structure, and natural world. Here the example of human ecology perspective, like environmental health. Examine the relationship between environmental factors, air equality, water equality, and human health. Here are the 3 ecological concept of community macro system. Number 1, competition. How community compete for the use of land and seek advantage of place for commercial, industrial, and residential purpose. Number 2, segregation, detachment or isolation of certain groups having certain common characteristics. Number 3, integration, bringing together and blending parents of group of people of different race and ethics background into unified functional whole. That's all about socio-psychological perspective and human ecology perspective.
And this is my report. 3 models of community. Number 1, locality development. Locality development is a community building approach that focuses on empowering residents to identify and address local issues through collaborative efforts. It emphasizes building a strong foundation for community action and change by improving communication, building relationships, and encouraging residents to work together. Social planning model. This approach prioritizes a technical process of problem solving, relying on the expertise of trained and skilled planners. It is suited for complex societies where change requires specialized knowledge and guidance. The role of expert is center of this model. Social action model. In social work focuses on empowering communities to address systematic issues and bring about social change. It emphasizes community organizing, advocacy, and political action to redistribute power and resources, ultimately aiming for social justice and improve conditions for marginalized groups.